I'm back again. I've just come off of a 12-hour night shift and oh my god, I feel so terrible. Night shifts literally destroy me. I've been doing this for over 20 years now, and you would think that I would learn how to get better with dealing with being that tired and, the sleep patterns and the psychology behind it all. But literally, as time goes on, it gets worse and worse. I've seen a lot of people retire when they're, in their mid 60s, sometimes 70s, and they are absolutely destroyed by night work because it's not natural, is it? To be awake all night and then to come home and, in my case, not sleep at all. To literally come home from work, get in bed, lay there awake for 3 hours feeling dreadful and like you want to die, and then giving up and then just getting out of bed, cracking on with your day, and going back to work again the following evening and doing the same thing. You're doing that sort of 4 days plus in a row. Oh my God, it's horrible. And I can feel my brain like falling apart doing this. I don't know how much longer I can keep doing nights for, because when I talk to people outside of my job about night work, they all have the same reaction. They're all kind of like, oh, that sounds horrible. And then they just move on with their life because they don't have to deal with it. But when I know every 4 weeks I'm going to have to come back to doing this thing that literally makes me feel... I can't think of many things in the world that make me feel as bad as working nights. And some people I know, they quite enjoy it. I think I know people with young kids, and they kind of... because they don't get any time to themselves ever because they're at home dealing with babies, they love the fact that they get to come to work and have 8 hours where there's not even anyone else in the office. They're just alone for 8 hours, peace and quiet. But, I work in a technical job at the minute where I have to be switched on. I have to be analysing circuitry, fault finding, planning things, installing things, gauging things, signing off important things that are safety critical. So I need to be switched on. And when you're that tired, when you've had collectively 2 hours sleep over a whole week, and not only that, but you're also working in the dark, in the cold, on the railway track, often by yourself, it's like a recipe for disaster, really. It amazes me that there haven't been more accidents or, deaths on the job or problems that have arisen from people working nights. Because I know that if you're working on the railway, then working nights is like a big deal because the trains are stopped. So that's the only time you can get on the track, really, and have a decent window to get things done. Oh, but the damage it does to your brain and your body, just like your mindset as well. I mean, I literally I feel miserable in the whole week running up to when my nights are going to begin. And then after my nights are finished, like now, I've done my last night, now I've got a week off, I'm going to feel awful for 2 or 3 days now, just because I've done these nights. Anyway, though, let's not harp on about how miserable night shifts are. No one enjoys work at the best of times, let alone doing night shifts. So, yeah, my week this week, I've got a week off, and I plan on using it to get things up and running. I want to really build out Lab 63 this week. And one of the most important things I'm going to do this week is actually getting some new gear, which it's exciting and it's necessary because soon I'm going to start doing these spotlight days. I have a couple booked in, and in these spotlight days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take clients to a location that suits their identity and their business needs, and then we'll have a whole half day of shooting. We're going to get an interview in there, like a documentary style interview, a podcast episode filmed, and we're going to do a photo shoot, and we're going to talk about a creative plan for online. We're going to talk about a creative direction for these businesses so that they can put themselves out on the internet authentically, and so they can relate to people and showcase what they do. So in order to do that, I mean, I do have more gear than my wife is happy about, but I need a new camera. And at the minute, I've been doing loads of research this last week, and I think I'm going to opt for the Sony A7 IV. I've done so much research on this, and I know there's that thing where when you're beginning with a new project, it never pays to be the guy who just goes and buys all the gear, over gears himself out so that he's got no problems gear wise, but then to be clueless on how to use it all. I don't want to be that guy. I need to be someone who's actually switched on and who's actually going to utilize this gear and get the most out of it. So filming cinematic interviews and being able to draw content from that, all whilst actually directing the interview as well, so that the information they want comes out of it, and trying to do it in a way that aligns with my creative style, my needs, and what I want to bring forward out of it. It's going to be difficult at first, but I think it's one of those things where the only way you're going to improve is to actually lean into it wholeheartedly and fail. I'm going to fail, and it's not nice to think about that, but that's part of it. And in the past, I think I've got caught up with prospecting, lead generation, all that kind of stuff, trying to actually sell what I'm doing. But that's hard, especially if you've never done it before. If you're not someone who's used to making sales calls, it feels impossible, because you phone people up, or you send messages to people, or you email them, or you WhatsApp message them, whatever. You reach out to these people, and for every 10 people that you reach out to, you might get one response, you might get no responses. It's not as if you're going to get 9 responses or 8 responses, and then some of them might be good, some might be bad. People just ghost you. And I would do the same thing, I think. If someone reached out to me, cold calling, selling a product, even if that thing was really useful for me, I would probably just swipe past it or delete it or just not even think anymore about it. So this is the thing, isn't it? I think the more that I can actually film myself and put myself online, the more people will see what I'm actually capable of and what I can do and what I can bring to their business. Not even just to their business, but to their whole world. Because I think having a way of capturing your story, who you are, and doing it in a way that seems from the outside to be effortless, that's valuable. And also it's fun. Like, I want to do that all the time. I love speaking to people and opening the doors, getting behind the mask and finding out who they actually are. So yeah, I'm on a gear shopping spree this week, and it's not going to be cheap, but things like cameras and audio gear, that kind of thing, they kind of hold their value to a degree anyway, I think. It's not as if I'm going to just splash out all this money on stuff and then that's it. It's done and dusted. I'm going to make money back from actually running the business, which is a bit of a scary concept for me, given that I've been an employee for my whole life so far. And B, I think you can sell things later on. It's an investment. So yeah. So I'm going to get loads of new gear this week, and I'm going to when I get this gear, I'm going to practice. I'm going to use it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm going to try and work out every single function on this camera, and I want to fail as much as possible. I want to work out all the kinks, work out what to do and what not to do, so that when it comes to the first spotlight day, I'm going to be much more polished, and I'll be able to deliver for these clients in a way that is going to serve me moving forwards. So that's my thing. And also this week, I'm thinking that I might possibly get my podcast with my wife off the ground, which is, I spoke to her about it yesterday, and she was actually really up for it, which I'm kind of surprised about, if I'm honest. And I don't know if it's one of those things where you have a brilliant idea, and in your head, it sounds perfect. You think this is going to be so good. People are going to love this. I would love to listen to this. But then the reality of actually sitting down and filming ourselves, having a really light-hearted conversation, and then chopping that up and putting it out online for the whole world to see, for all of our friends to see, for all of our family to see, potentially for our employers to see. It's scary, because I might be happy to put myself out online, but me and my wife, it feels more personal. It feels closer, as if there's a protective layer that you put around yourself. It's like, is one step behind that layer, which is quite scary. My phone's ringing. I'm going to come back. Yeah, it feels a lot more personal. It feels like you have that relationship with employees at work. I mean, not all employees. Some employees I work with are absolute legends. I love to bits. But on the whole, you have a relationship with employees, and you might talk about stuff you've done on the weekend, and you might go a little bit into your world with them. But ultimately, they're employees. You want to keep them you want to have a boundary there that you don't want them to come past. It feels like doing the podcast with my wife. It's stepping just inside that boundary, and I'm a bit iffy about it. But then I think what we'll probably record an episode or 2 or 3, and maybe not put them out at first and just see how it goes. Because we might find that both of us freeze on camera and it doesn't work at all. It might be really stinted and horrible. I can't imagine that it would be. Maybe we'll do it with a glass of wine or a bottle or 2 of wine, and no one wants a podcast to become slurry, do they? That's really bad taste. So yeah, but that's going to come out soon, and I'm really happy that she said that she would do it with me, because my wife is my favourite person, really. She's amazing. She's got so much about her that, she's one of those people who just puts everyone at ease. Everyone's happy around her. She just got so much about her that stands her out from the rest of the crowd. And I don't think she is fully aware of that either, which makes her even more endearing, because I don't know. I like it when people are amazing and they don't really know they're amazing. Somehow they're more humble, and it just, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here telling you how amazing my wife is, because when this podcast comes out, you'll get to see. So yeah, I've got a week to get podcasting, get gear, get better at using gear, and then to actually throw myself into the world trying to make some money. It seems really crass, doesn't it? Why is it that money is such a weird thing to talk about? No one wants to talk about making money. Unless you've got loads of money, then people are happy to constantly talk about their money. But I feel like it's like a dirty word, money. Because the thing I'm trying to build in a minute, I say trying to build, the thing I am building at the minute that is actually moving forwards at a decent pace. So it's not trying to build. I need to get this mindset out of I'm trying to build something. I am building something and it's working. So, but this thing is amazing. It's so valuable. It adds to the world, and it solves a real need in the world that people, I would pay for. So there is absolutely no reason why I should feel bad or feel weird about asking for money to do it. But the psychology behind, if you've been someone who's worked for an employer your whole life, it just feels weird to say, right, can you pay me to do this thing for you? Maybe I'm alone with this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm weird, but I find it like it's a hurdle that I have to put work into overcoming, because I don't think it is just me, actually, because I've got family members and friends, and I talk to them about what I'm doing, and they all seem to kind of get a bit uncomfortable the second money comes into the equation, and they all want to know how I'm going to make money doing this. But there's also that discomfort where it's like, oh, so people are gonna pay you to do this, are they? As if they're expressing their awkwardness through me. Yeah, I don't know, but I am. I've taken some payments now. I think the moment you actually make a sale, you realise that actually this isn't that. It's not scary. It's just, it is what it is. I don't know. There are so many people that have got huge businesses or have been self-employed for a long time, and they probably think I'm mental listening to this, but it is a real thing for me where I'm a bit, what's the word? Not scared, maybe it's like imposter syndrome. I think that might be what it is. You feel like, am I the person who can actually sell something and make something from nothing? Yeah, it's difficult. It's hard to get your head around. But I'm moving further and further down this avenue now, and things are starting to work out. So as I do more of this, it's going to become easier, and I'm going to become more skilled as well, and my network will grow, and things will slowly improve. And I'm sure a year from now, I won't be sitting here saying that I feel awkward about taking payments from people. Undercharging as well, massively. I undercharge because I feel it sort of feels as if someone's doing me a favor by paying me, even though they're paying me to put loads and loads and loads of work and effort and soul into doing something for them that's going to help them. I'm selling a service, a product, but somehow it feels a little bit like they're doing me a favor by paying me for it, and I feel like I should be grateful, or I should be thankful that they're actually paying me money for something. What is wrong with me? I don't understand why this is hard to get my head around. I get in my head so much sometimes. I think we all do. Anyway, this is moving forwards, and I'm gonna grow this thing so that the vision, like the goal that I had initially, that's going to come to pass. And when it does, what I'll probably do, knowing me, is I'll probably then move the bar higher and I'll have a new goal, and I'll never actually feel like I've achieved anything, because every time I come close to actually reaching a goal, I move the bar up again, and I come close to there and I move the bar again. This is like a curse that I have, where I never congratulate myself. I never allow myself to feel like I've done something good. Even if I could achieve something amazing, I would say, well, yeah, but I haven't done this yet. And I would just up the bar, and I would never have that moment where you go, yes, I'm a legend. I've done that thing and I've finally got where I want to be. Life's not easy, is it? So anyway, this is just a short episode because I wanted to try out this new camera. See, this isn't my camera that I'm buying this week, by the way. I'm using an Insta360 webcam to film this with a little bit of lighting. So I'm just trying this setup out to see how it looks, because I want to start doing more video content. My podcast, I want to start actually filming it as well and putting it out, because I don't know if just purely audio media is dying out. Yeah, people used to listen to the radio all the time, and then I remember when podcasts came out, it kind of replaced the radio a little bit and it made things easier for people to actually create stuff and put it out into the world. But now I feel like if you record a podcast 4 times a week and post them onto Apple Podcasts and Spotify, what's the likelihood that anyone's actually going to get to discover that? Probably quite slim, because you don't go through Apple Podcasts searching for a podcast, a specific one, do you? The only way people actually grow anything is by putting video content out online, predominantly short form video content, which is a bit of a minefield if you're not used to it. And it's scary because, putting videos of me talking out just on the Instagram and stuff, where people I know, my family and friends, they get to see it, it is a little bit scary. But the more you do it, it's just exposure, isn't it? The more you do it, you flex that muscle, the muscle grows, and it becomes easier. So, yeah, this is only a short catch-up, really, but I just wanted to test out this format to see if it worked. And I'm now going to have to go away and do some editing, because already the phone has rung once, and I've had to answer an important phone call, and then my neighbour knocks on the door halfway through this as well, and then my neighbour, who drives me insane, came out with a pressure washer 10 minutes ago as well, so I had to stop for that. So yeah, these are the problems you have when you try and create content. Creating content. I feel that's a dirty phrase as well. My family would all look at me like I was crazy if I said I'm a content creator. I wouldn't call myself a content creator. However, I am currently creating content. I'm waffling now. I just wanted to put this out there and see what happened. But there's going to be more like this, but with better quality video and sound and lighting, and with guests, including my wife. That's all coming up. So watch this space, because this podcast is growing now. I'm noticing the amount of downloads I'm getting I think every 30 days is the metric you should follow. Every 30 days of the minute, I'm getting about 400 downloads, and that's up from last month. It was like 90. So slowly things are growing, and the more content I put out and the better quality it is, the more I grow, right? And the more this grows. So I would love as well for you to get some feedback from the listeners, the person watching this now, you sitting there watching this. I would like some feedback, because I want to know what you like, what you don't like. What am I doing that works? What am I doing that doesn't work? How can I improve this? Because I want this podcast to get better and better, and I want Do you know, I have podcasts that I listen to religiously every week. I literally wait for the alarm to go off on my phone, the little bell thing on Apple Podcasts to tell me the new episodes come out. And I get excited and I think, yes, on my way home from work today, I'm going to listen to this podcast, get in. And then I'll sit there and listen to it and I get so much value from it. That's what I want to create with this. I want this to be something that gives you value. It's not about me, I'm not doing this for the good of my own health. I want to create something awesome that everyone wants to watch and that brings value to you, makes your journeys feel lighter, and also gives you an insight into my life, because I feel like not many people are happy to just talk about their life openly and honestly, and to actually answer questions and to actually give advice surreptitiously, albeit. So yeah, I want some feedback. If you can message me or, I don't know, DM me on Instagram, feel free to, or comment on this video as well. Just say, I like this, I don't like this. Can we have more of this? Can we have less of this? Whatever it may be. And I'll do my best to try and accommodate your needs. So I'll say bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.